Anybody.
It makes it
Everybody's,
really
like,
hard
waiting.
to makes it really hard to take it seriously. Like, yo, did you hear that Georgia won their secret scrimmage?
It does. It's tough to take seriously.
Like, I thought you were joking there, but apparently you were serious. You're pumped about the secret scrimmage.
He was
I'm
pumped.
pumped. I'm pumped that we're in scrimmage season. I don't understand though. I agree with you. I don't understand why they're so secret. Like it's very clear. Everybody knows what's going on.
Just so
NBA props.
we're live, by the way, and just so everyone knows what we're referring to, Andy in the top left is a diehard Georgia Bulldog basketball fan. So he's pumped they won their secret scrimmage. So we were making fun of the fact that college basketball has secret scrimmages. That they were even referred to them as that.
Yeah.
So Browns at Colts is the first game up. Oh, by the way, what's up, everybody? Had a green, thanks to Arizona State, almost pulling it out at the end there. Had a green college football Saturday to add on to the really good college football week I had. So it was plus 2.95 units, I think it was, for college football this week. Great college football week. In NFL, we're entering in the green because we hit the Jags on Thursday. So hopefully let's keep the positivity rolling. Let's run the intro and get it started.
Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
All right. So first up, by the way, there's only 11 games today. So this is definitely the lightest football Sunday we've had so far on the season. There's still value. Just for example, in my post, I only had 3 top bets. If you've been following me for a while, sometimes I have as many as 7. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a lighter day, but we're going to still find some bets we like. First up, Browns at Colts. No weather report. Prop Ever, are we still looking at 3.5 consensus here?
Yeah, you can nab the 3 on points bet I just saw, but every other book has this at 3.5.
3's available on PointsBet?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of wishing I waited to post the ticket. I would have loved to have posted that 3. But all right, poll is running. Cast your votes. Browns minus 3.5, Colts plus 3.5. Prop Beaver, kick us off. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so I'm going to start us off with a tight end prop on tight end day. I got David Njoku over 2.5 receptions. I'm drinking the juice on this. It's minus 146 on FanDuel, but if you want to play over 3.5, it's plus 154 on FanDuel, it's plus 124 on Caesars, and plus 114 on DraftKings. Here's my reasoning why. Everybody and their mother's on Amari Cooper today, and it makes sense. Wide receiver ones are absolutely bodying the Colts right now. But despite people I know and respect posting Amari Cooper, the line continues to drop there. So that tells me that they're not very confident in Watson's ability to throw outside the numbers recovering from his shoulder injury. And on top of that, the Colts rush defense is allowing just 3.7 yards per carry. That's a stout unit. So who do they throw it to? Well, I think that Watson's ADOT is going to be smaller than in previous games, and he tries to work the short game. Who better to target in these spots than your safety blanket at tight end? Njoku's already cashed 4 or 5 games this season, averaging 3.9, and he's cashed 4 straight, averaging 4.2. I like the matchup for him today to see usage as the Colts defense has allowed the most targets per game, 9, and 4th most receptions per game, 6, to the tight end position. Through 6 games, 5 starting tight ends have cashed their over against Indy, and all 6 of them have hit 4+ receptions, nevertheless 3. Colts run zone coverage at the 10th highest rate in the NFL, and against zone coverage, he sees his target share skyrocket a whole 10%. On top of that, he leads the Browns in receptions against zone coverage, so definitely like him to go over that mark today. I don't know what the hell that line is at 2.5, but thank you, FanDuel.
It's at 2.5. That's crazy. All right, let's bring up Andy next. Andy, what are you betting in this one?
Yeah, this is a weird spot for the Browns, right? They had a big win last week, but the guy that kind of got them the win, right, PJ Walker, not starting anymore. Deshaun comes back, shoulder injury. That kind of scares me. I think solely because of that, I don't know how their offense is going to move in this game. I kind of like the Colts to cover here today. The Colts started really well against Jacksonville last week. Obviously, they did wind up getting blown out in the end, but if they can start the game fast, I think they keep it close throughout the entire game. Like I said, don't really trust the Browns offense too much in this one because Deshaun's coming back from that shoulder injury.
I could see that. I am on the other side. I'm on Cleveland here. I am laying the 3.5. And look, everyone's concerned about Deshaun Watson and the Colts. Deshaun Watson and the Browns offense. I completely hear you. I kind of like what Prop Beaver said about the ADOT being lower than normally. But we're forgetting the other half of the game, which is the Browns defense, which I think is the best defense in football. And I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's pretty consensus now that the Browns have the best defensive football. And I know based on last week's performance, it kind of looks like a bounce back spot to bet the Colts, like a buy low, sell high. But the thing is, this line isn't sketchy to me. I mean, 3.5 on the road. That means at home, Browns be laying what, 8.5, 9? So that sounds about right to me. It doesn't look like this. This doesn't look trappy. I think the Browns defense can cover this number by themselves. And Deshaun Watson, I think and there isn't really numbers to back this up, but I think he is going to start accepting his role as the game manager. I think he's been humbled, especially to see his team go out there, beat the best team in the NFL without him. I think that's a humbling experience. I think he's going to start accepting the game manager role, which is all he needs to do to comfortably win and cover this game. I like the Browns by a touchdown. And also the Colts defense. Yes, they're a good unit, but I think the Colts defense is overvalued. I mean, DVOA-wise, they're 17th against the rush, 18th against the pass. I mean, they're like an average defense. I feel like people's opinion on the Colts defense, there might be some of last year and the year before that mixed in. Based on what we've seen this year, the Colts defense is just okay. So I like the Browns by a touchdown here, so I'm going to take it with Cleveland. And Toast, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Whoa, where's Toast? Toast disappeared?
I was still right here.
Oh, no.
He went into the nether realm.
Yeah, all right. Well, you just got the small camera. I don't know why you're not showing up, but go ahead. They can see you.
Yeah, no, I just like that Browns defense. I'm on the Browns as well with you. The Browns defense has been just unreal over 7 weeks this season. 1,002 yards allowed. That's the lowest mark through 5 games since 1971. I mean, opponents have had 9 red zone attempts versus the Browns. That's the fewest in the NFL. I could keep on going with stats like that, but yeah, this Browns defense is just too good. I love Gardner Minshew. He's a WSU guy, but it's just too much for him right here. So I'm on Cleveland as well.
I'm going to try to... Actually, you know what? Toast could just be in the small screen. Who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah, rather than try to fix it live. So, yeah, our poll is leaning Cleveland. Looks like 57% of our viewers are laying the 3.5, 27% taking the 3.5, 13% under. That's a lot for this poll. So, our viewers are leaning under in this one. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 2. Patriots at Bills. Rivalry game here. Rivalry. Weather report, please, Toast.
Patriots and Bills. Weather report is 54 with a slight chance of showers in New England with like anywhere from 12 to 15 mile an hour winds going to the northwest.
12 to 15. Okay, so it's a bit windy in Foxborough. Prop Beaver, so a bit windy, slight chance of rain. Prop Beaver, are we still 7.5?
Pretty much consensus at 7.5. If you want to grab the 8 and you're on New England, good luck. It's on PointsBet and Barstool. You could get the 8.
Oh, so there is an 8 available. I'll put 8 available in the poll then. And what's the consensus total at for this one?
Consensus total
40.5.
That's at it's actually half the books have 41, half the books have 41.5.
I'll put 41. Okay, so the poll is running. Cast your votes. Prop Beaver, you have the floor. What do you got for us?
Oh, this is simple. Give me the Bills minus 7.5. Bills went into London, obviously underperformed, and then they had to deal with coming back from London, the grogginess of that, underperformed again at home against the Giants. I don't really care about that. I think this is the perfect bounce back spot for them in a spot where they've absolutely dominated as of late. Their last 5 trips to Foxborough, they're 4-0-1 against the spread, winning comfortably in most of those games. And then really the main thing that gets me onto the Bills here is Josh Allen's pure excellence against this Patriots team. I'm just trying to find it right now. So if you look at his last 3 trips to Foxborough, the guy's averaging 286 yards per game. He has 9 touchdowns, 0 picks, and an 116 passer rating. Normally, I would say, oh, well, the Patriots pass defense is good. That's due for some regression and Allen struggling. But the Patriots pass defense is in the bottom 12 of most ranks right now. You know the Patriots are ass when their pass defense is struggling. That is the heart and soul of this team. So with that unit really struggling right now, I just don't really see a way in which the Patriots win this game. If they were to win this game, I think they'd have to establish a run game because that's the main weakness for the Bills defense. But I don't trust the offensive line, and I don't trust the running backs, mainly Ramondre Stevenson. I actually would be more excited about the Patriots run game if they gave Zeke the ball, and that's saying something. That's how bad this Patriots offense
Facts.
is. So I really have no interest in backing the Patriots all season. I'm thoroughly enjoying the demise of Bill Belichick. Give me the Bills.
Yo, did you see Underdog Fantasy tweeted out this morning that Bill Belichick actually got a secret extension before the season?
I just
That's
saw that.
hilarious.
Like, I don't know if he got the extension and checked out. But I'll go next because it'll take 2 seconds. Completely agree. I'm on the Bills also. Let me just scroll to put the graphic up there. There was no hesitation here. Not only have the Bills been pretty good in Foxborough, but there's no redeemable qualities about this Patriots team. The offense is the worst offense in the NFL. I mean, there's just nothing. And I like how we're getting the Bills off of that Giants game because even though they didn't lose, that definitely served as a bit of a wake-up call because Brian Daboll outcoached the shit out of McDermott in that game. And I like that. I like how we're getting them on a wake-up call in a division game where I don't think they'll take the foot off the pedal for even a second. I will admit that the wind report we just got from Toast makes me a little worried because I am relying on Josh Allen throwing the ball a lot in this game. But like Prop Beaver said, this isn't the Patriots of last year. That pass defense isn't good. They're 23rd in pass defense DVOA. The Patriots, that's what they do, is they make you get into these run versus run battles. That's how the Patriots have always found success in the last few years. They can't do that anymore because teams can throw on them. So, yeah, Bills minus 7.5. I think this is Bills by blowout. So I'm on the Bills here. Andy?
Yeah, I have a feeling we're all going to be on the Bills. Yeah, I'm completely on the Bills, too. I think coming off of kind of 2 wake-up calls, right? They lost in London, and then they lost.
True.
They barely sneaked by the Giants last week. Like, yeah, I think that's going to be in their heads the whole time. Obviously, Bill Belichick, everybody's talked about, like, whatever. He's been terrible. And that team overall has been terrible. Their pass defense has been bad since they lost their rookie corner. Like, it's been rough overall for them. Brian Hoyer threw for, like, 110 yards in the second half against them. That's Brian Hoyer. Like, yeah, I got no faith in New England. I'm with Beaver there. The rest of the season, I'm off of New England. Like they are dead to me in that sense. So yeah, I got the Bills.
Okay, so Toast is about to go. He texted me, or it was in the Discord. He said, "Kyle, are you on the Patriots?" Which means he wants to take the Patriots. That's what I know what that text means. That means he wants to take the Patriots. Are you gonna do it?
No, I asked because there's 2 other people that I respect taking the points with New England, and I just didn't know if they were freaking crazy or they were just trying to play it. But I knew that you would give me a straight answer. Yeah, I'm actually laying a little bit more with the Bills. I'm gonna lay like 14.5. I think with them at a big plus number. I swear to God. So check this out. So Patriots are averaging 1 point per play. Can keep in mind Miami's averaging like 3.2 per drive. Denver's at like 1.9. So the Patriots are really, really bad. They're not taking the ball away. They have 3 takeaways in the end. Are 3 takeaways this year. That's lowest in the NFL. And Buffalo has wins by 29 and 30 in this rivalry over the last couple of years. Buffalo also already has wins this season by 28, 28, 34, while the Patriots have losses by 34 and 35 already. Bills minus 14.5.
14.5. I mean, I don't even hate it. That's the crazy part. I think it's Bills by blowout. The Patriots are awful. The people that are taking New England are definitely just doing the blindly taking the division home dog plus 7.5 because that is a profitable endeavor. If you just
you could find 15 trends that New England is the play. I can assure you guys that.
Right, and a lot of those trends, like a home division dog getting more than 7, if you blindly take them, you'll turn a profit. But personally, I like to mix that information in with what's going on with these 2 football teams, and that side of it is just leaning Buffalo so heavy. And then, like we already mentioned, I love what they're coming off of, the loss in London and then a wake-up call in New York. People are like, wow, maybe the Bills aren't that good. They're going to beat the shit out of them.
Josh Allen also does his best on, like, straight 7 days rest. He doesn't like having short rest or long rest. He's, like, way really good on just a straight 7 days.
Is that true? I didn't even know that. So, next is Raiders-Bears, but first our poll. Looks like as expected, 76% of our viewers are laying the 7.5. So if you're betting the Bills, just know you are on the heavy public side. Heavy public. Just 13% of the viewers click Patriots plus 8. 6% under, 3% over. Next up, Raiders at Bears. Brian Hoyer versus How do I say his name? Badgent?
I'm saying Bajan. I don't know what the hell it is. I haven't
not
bothered to look it up.
It's a product of Shepherd University. Wow, this game. So, all right, Toast, weather report in Chicago, please.
It's nice. 50 and clear, barely any winds. Great weather. All good to
Okay.
go.
Are we sitting at 2.5 across the board, Prop Beaver?
Yep, 2.5 for the spread and 38.5 for the total.
38.5. Wow, that went up. Wasn't it 37.5? I think it was 37. So
It was at 37.5.
maybe the weather
this morning.
Maybe people
Yeah.
saw the weather and bet that over up.
Well,
So
maybe
yeah,
they saw Bajan.
or maybe they got to look at Paget in the secret scrimmage.
Shepard in those secret scrimmages, man. Something else.
Yeah, dude. All right, Prop Beaver, you have the floor. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so I got a prop, and I hate fading my boy because he paid us out last week or 2 weeks ago. But I'm gonna go Jacoby Myers under 51.5 receiving yards. This is a scary one. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Myers has crushed this line in 4 or 5 games. He's averaging 67 yards per game. He's facing a Bears defense that's 30th in pass DVOA. So why the hell do I want to fade him here? Simple. There is no Jimmy Garoppolo. With Garoppolo on the field, Myers has actually out-targeted Devontae Adams. But in the lone game without Garoppolo this year against a putrid Chargers secondary, what did Myers do? 4 targets, 2 receptions, 33 yards. O'Connell threw the ball 39 times in that game. I do not think McDaniels has Hoyer throwing the ball that many times in this one. And I think it's going to be the case here because Myers may be in a savory matchup, but his teammates are in more savory spots, in my opinion. Devontae Adams is out here literally begging for the ball. So McDaniels is going to have to scheme up some looks for him today. Michael Mayer is starting to see a massive surge in usage these past 2 games, and the Bears have been horrendous against tight ends. And then on top of that, Josh Jacobs should have a field day through the air because in his lone game without Jimmy G, he saw 8 targets. On top of that, the Bears are getting gashed by running backs through the air. Against wide receiver 2s, the Bears are only allowing 4.8 targets per game and 42.4 yards per game below our total. And most books have Myers' receptions line at 3.5. The guy's 4-1 to the over with 6 receptions per game. So with 5 or fewer receptions since 2021, he's 14-8 to the under. With 4 or fewer since 2021, that's 11-6 to the under. I think both teams are going to call a ridiculously conservative game plan here, and we see a ton of action on the ground, wasting the clock away. I'm going to hold my nose, but I'm going to bet the under here because I think it's good value.
I like that because this year, but just based on the eye test, I feel like whenever Myers is getting the ball, it's more of a downfield or sideline type pass, and I could see the Raiders staying away from those. Makes complete sense. I like that. All right, Bulldog, Mr. Secret Scrimmage himself.
Yeah, I'm whenever there's 2 backup quarterbacks starting, and obviously it's very rare, but whenever there's 2 of them starting, I just look at who's got a better running game, and surprisingly, it's the Raiders in this one, as bad as they've been. I think this is the game where Josh Jacobs finally comes out of his shell, really runs around in this game. You have no Roshan Johnson, no Khalil Herbert for the Bears, so what is it? Deontay Foreman's their next running back up. Like, they don't have a running game or a passing game today, so yeah, I'm fully on the Raiders in this one. As bad as it is to back Brian Hoyer, I have to do it. I simply can't go with the Bears in this.
So you're going with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get that graphic up. For some reason, Prop Beaver put him in the right order. I was blaming him on yesterday, but actually, for some reason, even if you put him in the right order, I still have to go find it. So there it is, LV minus 2.5. So that's what I'm on as well. 1 sec. This is number 18. So yeah, I'm on the Raiders minus 2.5 as well. I might. I mean, I already bet it, so I can't say I might take the money line instead because I already bet minus 2.5. But I wouldn't be completely afraid to just lay the minus 140 or minus 142 or whatever with the money line to avoid any of those bullshit 1-point wins. But all right, so if there's one spot where I will take a 39-year-old quarterback, however the hell old Brian Hoyer is, it's against the bad zone defense. Because if there's one thing a veteran quarterback can do, it's pick apart the zone. Recognize the coverage and pick apart the zone. Bears are second in the NFL in zone frequency. The Bears live in zone coverage, and they're not good at it. Eddie Jackson's still out, so they're still missing their best safety. The other guy, Brisker, he might not even play. So not only is the Bears secondary terrible, not only do they live in zone coverage, but they may be missing both safeties. Look, the Bears have a decent run defense, so even if you don't like the Raiders' offense in this game, let's say I agree with you. Let's say, okay, yeah, I don't like Brian Hoyer against the Bears' defense. Run game might not be there. Okay, let's say I agree with you. What do you like about the other side, about the Bears offense that's going to make you take them at a short line, like 2.5? I'm not seeing it. There's sharps out there that like the Bears that bet this down to 2.5. So there's smart people out there taking the Bears, or at least they got them at 3. I personally don't see it. I mean, with Badgent, Shepherd University product at quarterback, there's no Khalil Herbert either, who's going to be taking the carries. Dante Foreman, Travis Homer. I mean, there's just nothing about this Bears offense I like. The Raiders' pass rush seems to be coming to life a bit. I'm in a short number, like 2.5. It's not one of my favorite bets, but gun to my head, forced me to be on a side. I'll take the Raiders, and I like how there are sharps out there taking the Bears. Bet this down to 2.5 for us. So yeah, I'll take the Raiders.
Did you see what Jay Parlay said? He actually cooked my ass in the comments. He said that my mustache looks like the Pringles, man.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Toast?
Do you want some of that smoke? How's Jay Parlay doing with them Rangers? I wonder how them boys are doing.
That's not Jay. That's not Jay Briggs.
Oh,
I think Jay
bad.
Briggs' name on Google is just Jay Briggs. Different Jay.
So yeah, obviously I was trying to look at the under. I'm not going to take it, but this number was at like 46.5 before we knew both quarterbacks were out. And I read this off of Action, but historically that means the move's on the under. Obviously, it's dropped 4.5 points when totals are at 38 or below, and they've dropped at least 4.5 points. They're 27, 11, and 2 to the under at 71%. So that's a pretty decent one. I really wanted to play Devontae Adams over one or anytime touchdown, because he has 10 touchdowns in his last 12 games against the Bears, and obviously, but I didn't think that over him complaining would be so overblown. That's all I hear. So I don't really love that Devontae Adams play as much as I do. I'm probably just going to tail Beaver.
You got to think that with what's going on, that Devontae Adams' touchdown score is going to be juiced to the max. Not saying it doesn't hit. I'm just saying it probably isn't the best price. Judging
I get
by
it at plus 165. I've got like
that's actually not bad. I mean, I do think he
came
scores
way down, but yeah.
All right, so our poll is on the Raiders. 67% of our viewers are laying the 2.5. And it looks like at 2.5, not many people are clicking the Bears. I bet you if I put the poll up at 3, there'd be a few more people inclined to click on the Bears. 13% under. So a lot of people are betting the under. Here, the thing is, and we'll get to this when we get to the there's a game later, but the people, when they see bad teams, are like, oh, these teams suck, I'll take the under. But if the two worst aspect of these teams are the defenses, that doesn't necessarily work in your favor. But all right, let's move on to the next one. Washington Commanders at Giants in MetLife. So weather report in MetLife. I mean, I could just look outside. It looks cloudy, kind of nice.
Apparently, there's supposed to be some
60
serious
degrees and
winds.
cloudy. I was just about to say they have 17-mile-an-hour winds up there, but it's like goes in and out, I guess. So yeah,
it doesn't look windy at all. Outside my window, I'm about 27 miles from MetLife Stadium.
I need Howell dropping back today.
You need Howell dropping back today. All right.
Yeah.
I need him to get a rushing touch.
Oh, whoops. All right, Prop Beaver, you have the floor. Oh, Jacoby Myers, your pick is still up there. So, all right, what is this one?
It's Kayvon Thibodeau over 0.25 sacks, minus 122 on FanDuel. I know this is a weird one. I don't usually dabble into the defensive props. I'm trying to. I just don't know what exactly to look for, but I know exactly what to look for here. The Washington Commanders O-line is a pile of dog
It's
shit,
bad.
allowing a league worst 5.7 sacks per game this year. And you want to know how putrid this protection is? The Falcons and Bears have a combined for just 19 sacks this season through a combined 12 games. 10 of those came against Washington. Over 50% of the team sacks came against the Washington Commanders. Howell dropped back just 28 times against Atlanta last week, and that was a 17.8 sack percentage. This Giants pass rush is so due to break out. They're dead last in adjusted sack rate, dead last in sacks per game, but they're also 6th in pressure rate and 1st in QB hurry percentage. Howell's horrendous when it comes to evading sacks as well. He's allowing the most pressures and sacks amongst QBs according to PFF, and 34% of his pressures have turned into sacks, highest amongst 35 QBs. While the Giants pass rush as a whole has been really, really disappointing, you know who has been getting home? Kayvon Thibodeau. He's 4 sacks, lead the team. He has 16 pressures, sits second on the team. And he has 4 sacks in his last 4 games. He faced Washington twice last year, had a sack in both. He only cashed 4 of 16 games last year, and 2 of those came against the Washington Commanders. Now we have Sam Howell, who literally invites sacks. I think that there's good value on this minus 122. I really wish that there was a market where I could bet team sacks, but I cannot find that consistently on any sport.
We were talking about that last year. It doesn't exist yet, I don't think.
Caesars will like sometimes put one team sack prop up, and then it's juice to the gill. So this is my best way of attacking it. This is an ugly game. That's what I got.
No, what we were talking about last year is we wanted team rebounds and team 3-pointers for basketball. Because a lot of time my read is like, yo, they should clean up the glass, but I don't know exactly who's going to do it. They should just do it. All right, let's bring up the Bulldog. You have a play on this one.
Yeah, ugly game is the perfect way to put this. You have Washington won an ugly game last week. Like, they didn't deserve to win, but they were playing, maybe it was one of the worst quarterback performances I've seen in a while.
That was disgusting from Ritter.
Desmond, 200 yards more than the Commanders and still 3 interceptions cost them the game. They're not facing a young quarterback now. Tyrod Taylor can actually protect the ball. It seems like he's a veteran, so he should be able to. So I think that helps him. Surprisingly, I think the Giants cover in this one because of that. I think he's going to protect the ball. They'll control the game well enough. I do think they will pressure Sam Howell. He'll make a mistake or two in this game. Both defenses are awful, but I have no confidence in either offense either. So I think there's going to be a very low scoring game. I don't think the Commanders are even possible of beating them by a touchdown. So I have the Giants +3. I don't know if they win the game, but I definitely think they cover because it's going to be just a hideous football game.
Hideous is a good word to describe it. Hold on, let me find the Giants graphics. For some reason, these keep going out of order. But I am on the same side as you as soon as I get it up on the screen. There we go. Giants +3. Couldn't agree more. Put me on the same thing. Giants +3. We could go through all the concerns about the Giants. All the people that are betting Washington, I can tell you what they're going to say. The offensive line is hurt. They can't protect the quarterback. Whether it's Tyrod Taylor, Daniel Jones, they can't protect them. They doesn't have much of a run game, even with Saquon Barkley. I hear all that. But can't you just copy and paste it to say the same shit about Washington? I mean, keep in mind, like Andy just said, if Desmond Ridder doesn't gift wrap 3 interceptions to Washington last week, the Commanders are currently on a 4-game losing streak right now. If Desmond Ridder didn't give them that game. And by the way, he gave them 3 interceptions, and they still almost went to overtime. They still almost lost that game.
They had the ball. They had the ball to win the game. And
exactly.
He didn't get down the field.
Exactly. I feel like it's just more mainstream about how bad the Giants look is very mainstream. Everyone's talking about it. Less people are talking about the Washington Commanders looking almost as bad. Not quite as bad, but almost as bad. And we're talking about a full 3 points at home? I mean, definitely on the Giants here +3. I almost made this a top bet. I didn't, but it was close. I was considering it at a full 3. Yep. Toast, what are you thinking?
So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I didn't want to bet on either team, and so I kind of pulled something that we do out of the baseball season. I did Giants +6.5, Washington +6.5. So as long as neither team wins by 7, I win. It's -105. These teams have played a one-score game in 6 of the last 7, including 2 overtimes and a tie last season. Washington's played 4 one.
What are the odds? What's the odds on a bet like that?
105, -105.
Really? I actually kind of like that.
I just bet it as you guys were talking on DraftKings. So
Giants +6.5, Washington +6.5.
As long as neither team wins by 7, we win. So that's how I'm playing this one.
And people talk about
that.
Yeah, that is cool. People talk about it's windy in the Jersey Shore. I'm looking at the window. I have a giant tree outside my window, and the leaves are not moving. So maybe other places, it's just not moving here. So all right, let's see our poll. Wow, our poll's pretty split on this one. Slightly leaning Giants. Giants +3, he's getting 45% of the votes. Commanders -3 is getting 42% of the votes. A lot of people up there like the commies here. 8% under, 4% over. Next. All right. We got Atlanta at Tampa Bay. This game sucks. This game truly sucks. Weather report, please.
Weather report for the Tampa Bay game. 82. It's beautiful weather. It's Florida weather.
Beautiful weather. 2.5 consensus, Prop Beaver?
No, actually. FanDuel, PointsBet, and Barstool have this at 2.5, and then BetMGM, Caesars, DraftKings, and Bet365 have it at 3.
All right, so I'll put Bucks +3 because that is out there. I'm sorry, Bucks -3. Let me end that poll and start a new one.
Yeah, and then total's at 37.5 consensus.
Yeah, let me start a new poll. Make those numbers correct. So we got Falcons +3, Bucks -2.5, and then what'd you say the total was?
37.5.
Under 37.5. All right. There's the correct poll. All right, Prop Beaver, what do you have for us?
I did a little SGP here. And I think I know you can make it on DraftKings. I think you can make it on Bet365 as well. I'm going Desmond Ridder under 1.5 pass TDs and the Tampa Bay first half money line at plus 106 for a full unit. Why am I betting this? This is called the Desmond Ridder absolutely sucks bet. Ridder is 8-2 to the under in his brief career. He's averaging less than a touchdown per game, coming off one of those 2 overs against the heinous Washington Commanders pass D. On the road, Ridder's 4-0 to the under, averaging 0.3 touchdowns per game. Yep, just 1 pass TD through 4 road starts. And sure, Ridder had 2+ TDs against Tampa last year, but that was a weaker pass defense and was at Atlanta where Ridder is insanely better. Ridder's going to face a Falcons defense that runs the second most zone in the NFL. Ridder has a 0 TD percentage against zone this season. 0. Hasn't thrown a touchdown against zone this season, and he has a 1.5 TD percentage against zone in 2022. Tampa's held the last 3 or 4 quarterbacks they faced under the mark. The lone QB who cast Jared Goff, I don't know if you watched that game, but Amon-Ra St. Brown legitimately pulled off a miracle to score one of those touchdowns. Don't know if the Falcons have the playmakers after the catch to do that today. Total for this game is 37.5. I think Tampa holds them to 1 at most. And then the first half money line, why am I betting that? Well, Atlanta's 0-6 on the first half spread this year. In Ridder's 9 starts, the Falcons are 0-9 against the spread, 1-7-1 straight up in the first half, and they are 0-4 both straight up and against the spread on the road in these spots. In terms of EPA per play, Ridder gets better as the game goes along, but in the first and second quarter, he is absolutely...
He's been terrible.
Just going to fade Ridder. I think he stinks. I'm getting plus money to fade Ridder. Sounds like a treat.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with your logic there. He does look bad.
I'm literally bending over backward trying to get plays up. This is trash.
You got to play on this one, Bulldog?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm with him. You fade Desmond Ridder whenever you can. This isn't an elite defense they're facing. The Bucs defense has been really good this year, but they're coming off a pretty bad game against Jared Goff. He threw 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. Usually I'll back a team coming off a game like that. An elite defense coming off a bad game like that, I'm going to back them, and they're facing Desmond Ridder. Like, I have no faith in him to do anything against any defense, but now you put him up against a really good defense. Yeah, I'm on Tampa Bay pretty easy. The game's awful. Like, it's going to be a bad game overall, but yeah, I'm on Tampa Bay solely because Desmond Ridder's not going to be able to do anything.
I'm on the Bucs as well. And a lot of it is what Prop Beaver was saying about the zone coverage. I think the Bucs defense matches up great against Atlanta. The Falcons aren't going to be able to throw the ball in this game. The Bucs have a great pass defense. They run a great zone, and Desmond Ridder hasn't shown us that he can beat zone coverage at all. I'm sure the Falcons will make a couple plays in the run game, but the Bucs run defense is solid as well. So I just love the matchup for the Bucs defense. The reason I'm not hammering this one, it's super square. The number dropped from 3 to 2.5. Sharp action's definitely on the Falcons. Sharps like the Falcons here. And I guess the reason for that would be the Bucs offense is showing us that it really might have been a little bit of fool's gold. I don't want to say it's bad, but Bucs offense, especially in that Lions game, showing us that we can't 100% trust them. Now, the Falcons defense is not the Lions defense. So I'm hoping that that Baker Mayfield steps back up, has himself a decent game. I think the Bucs offense just has to be okay to cover this number. But I'm kind of in the same boat with this one that I was in the Raiders. Really not crazy about laying 2.5. I mean, does it seem like Falcons have played in like 4 or 5 1-point games already? So really not crazy about laying the 2.5. What I actually did in this one is I also took the Falcons team total under 17.5. I got that last night. Not sure if it's still available. So because I feel like I can count on the Bucs defense here. Not sure if I can count on the Bucs offense. So I'll take the Bucs. I also took Falcons team total under 17.5. Toast.
Yeah, same thing. I got 2 plays. Tampa Bay first half for sure. Just really quickly to talk about the defense and offense. Falcons offense dead last on the road by DVOA and 29th in the first half in DVOA. Atlanta 27th in first down DVOA against the number 2 defense in DVOA as far as first down. So you're hopefully you see a lot in the first half. A lot of Tampa Bay Atlanta in second and third and long situations. And then Baker Mayfield over 220 passing yards for me. He had 206 yards last week, but almost 50 yards in drops, and he missed Mike Evans for a 92-yard touchdown by just barely. So I think he throws it around a little bit more. So Baker over 220 passing yards in Tampa Bay first half.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield definitely missed a few, I don't want to say wide open, but a few deep balls that we've seen him make before. So if given the same opportunities, I have to think one or two of those get home. But all right, our poll heavy on the Bucs as expected. Yeah, this is another one where precaution. If you're betting Tampa here, just know you're on the seriously heavy public side, and I am too. I'm with you. It's just that's why it's not a top bet. That's why I'm not putting a ton of money on this because it's super square. 67% of our viewers laying the 2.5 with the Bucs, 23% taking the 3 with Atlanta. Over under split.
Can I
Go ahead.
Can I say something about public sides really quickly this year in the NFL?
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, teams that are getting 51% of the money are 56 and 32 straight up, and 51 and 34 and 3 ATS. The most profitable start for a public through week 6 are through the first 6 weeks since BetLab started their database.
Yeah,
Jesus
so
Christ.
the public is murdering this year.
It's going to come crashing down.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
know.
not this week.
Hopefully not this game. All right, let's move on to the next one. Lions at Ravens. A lot of attention on this game. Which is cool. This one should be awesome.
Yeah.
So, Baltimore, no weather report. Oh, wait, yeah, weather report from Baltimore.
Excuse me. It's coming up. Ravens, 62 slight chance of rain, 19-mile-an-hour winds. It could get ugly.
19-mile-an-hour winds is serious. Prop Ever. Consensus line, still 3?
Yeah, still 3. The total's at 43.5.
43.5, all right. 43.5. Poll is running. Go ahead and cast your votes. Prop Ever, what do you have for us here?
Yeah, so I'm a little annoyed about the wind, but what am I just never going to take a receiving over again? I mean, this is football weather. So I'm betting Mark Andrews over 53.5 receiving yards. And if the wind's truly a factor here, that should really only further amplify Jackson's desires to get Andrews the ball. To start the season, the Lions were horrendous against tight ends, but now they look a bit better. Did they magically get better against tight ends? No, they just saw tight ends like Cade Otton and Hayden Hurst, who get 0 usage in their respective offenses. But this defense is still allowing the second most targets per game, 8.7, and fourth most yards per game, 63, to tight ends on a weekly basis. And here's the starting tight ends they faced, an elite group, may I add. Cade Otton, Hayden Hurst, Josiah DeGuara, Kyle Pitts, Noah Fant, and Noah Gray. These people are nobodies, and the Lions are getting murked by tight ends. I really like the matchup for Andrews here today because the Lions are a zone-heavy team. Andrews is second in targets overall, but is first against zone coverage, seeing a 25 target percentage. And he sees a massive jump in efficiency as well against zone. He goes from 8.3 yards per reception to 14.3 yards per reception against zone. 1.04 yards per route run to 2.31 yards per route run. The ADOT also increases as well. I think that with Brian Branch back in the mix for Detroit, the Ravens wide receivers are going to have a real tough time on the outside, and believes that Andrews is in a nice spot to produce here. He's entering this matchup red hot, cashing 3 straight, averaging 71 yards per game. If the wind wants to fuck that up, so be it. I got to take the over here.
I like that. The average yards per reception almost doubled against zone coverage. That's cool. Nice find. All right, let's bring up the Bulldog, who is going to be prediction. He's taking Detroit. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on
Fucking
Detroit,
scrum.
and the reason I'm on Detroit here is Baltimore's offense has not been able to figure it out completely. Like this new system is it seems to be confusing to them a lot. They don't have many deep threats. Like they haven't been able to get the ball down the field very quickly. Like they're coming off a game where the only reason they won is Tennessee's an awful team. Second half, no Tannehill. Like it was a bad spot there for Tennessee. So I really don't take much stock in that one. Detroit, I'm not really scared on Goff on the road anymore. He diced up a pretty elite defense last week on the road. So I'm okay with betting him on the road now. It's getting better there. So yeah, I'm on Detroit because of that. Very predictable, but probably very square. But yeah, I'm on Detroit.
I'm on Detroit too, and I can't believe how many people are betting the Ravens. I thought the Lions were going to be this insanely public dog. They're not. There's a lot of people betting Baltimore here. I was on Baltimore last week too. I love the Ravens at -5.5 against the Titans. But I've said this a number of times. You cannot give teams credit for beating the Tennessee Titans outside of Nashville, because on the road, the Titans are, I mean, all jokes aside, a bottom 3 team in the NFL away from home. That Titans on the road are abysmal. Not going to give the Ravens points for that. I bet the Ravens last week, not just because of that, but I also like the matchup for them. I thought they could run the ball on the Titans. Titans run defense without that nose tackle hasn't been that good. They're not going to run the ball in Detroit. Detroit's got arguably the best run defense in the NFL. I think they're 3rd in run defense DVOA, so probably not the best, but one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Lamar is going to be forced to make plays through the air. There's heavy wind, as Toast told us. Can he make plays? Yeah, I'm sure he'll find Mark Andrews here and there. Now, on the other side, I like the Lions defense a lot, and I think that is where it becomes less square, because everyone's big on Jared Goff and St. Brown, and everyone talks about the Lions offense. No one's talking about how the Lions defense is top 3. I mean, other than the 49ers and Browns, I don't know if there's any other defense in the NFL that you could definitively put in front of Detroit right now.
Over the last 4 weeks, they're number 1 in EPA per play.
There you go. The last 4 weeks, Lions number 1 in EPA per play. That defense is excellent, and that's what I'm betting on here. The Lions offense, this is a tough spot for them. Jared Goff, definitely worse on the road, definitely worse outdoors. No David Montgomery. I hear all that. It's not really a bet on the Lions offense. Goff has shown us he's been a lot better on the road, a lot more reliable protecting the football, and we're getting a full 3 here. I think this is a low-scoring defensive game, and I'm holding a full 3 points with arguably the hottest team in the NFL. I also bet the under in this one. I think I got it at 43.5. Is that where I ran the poll at? 43.5, yeah. So I also got the under. So I bet the Lions +3 and the under. I think it's a low-scoring game, so having a full 3 just sounds really nice to me. Toast?
Yeah, so I got a couple plays here. So I'm on the Lions with you. Part of it is everything you guys said. I want to add one thing. Ravens coming home from London. Teams coming home from London without a bye have been tied or trailing in the fourth quarter in 12 of those 13 games. So I like my chances there with Detroit to keep this game close late. And then Jared Goff over passing yards. I just talked. Both these defenses have been pretty good, but honestly, who have the Ravens defense seen? Honestly, they saw C.J. Stroud in his first game ever. They saw Joe Burrow on one leg. They saw Gardner Minshew in the rain. They saw Dorian Thompson-Robinson for Cleveland. And then Ryan Tannehill gets hurt, and Willis comes in last week. So I'm taking Goff over 244 yards passing. I think this is a good day for the Lions.
I like that angle. What quarterbacks
I will say that's a good point.
Yeah, what quarterbacks have the Ravens seen is a solid angle.
One thing I want to add, though, Lamar, number 1 in passer rating and air net yards per attempt against zone coverage. Detroit Lions, top 10 in zone coverage frequency.
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson's going to make some plays through the air, but the Lions secondary, even injured, is still not the Titans secondary on the road.
Fair.
And the Lions the Lions pressure is coming. They can pressure the quarterback.
I'm taking your rationale and applying it to a game later. We'll discuss. So
okay.
We'll get to that
hey,
later.
Beaver, really quickly, what are your thoughts on Gus Edwards? Because I was trying to play him over because he had like 61% of the carries last week in that O-line, but I see a lot of people that I respect playing under.
I can't take any overs against this Lions rush defense.
Hell
no. Crack, dude. They're on crack, dude.
52%.
Every running back they faced under their total.
52% of our viewers taking the Lions at +3, 35% laying them.
If you wanted to take a rush over, Toast, I would probably say Lamar Jackson, but the only thing that's killing me is that the Lions were very susceptible to rushing quarterbacks last season, got gashed by them. But what they did is they switched from a man-heavy defense to a zone-heavy defense, and now they're not nearly as susceptible. I took 2 overs against them already and got killed. So not taking another over against that Lions rush defense, even if it's quarterback.
Next game.
Fair enough.
Cardinals at Seahawks. This one kind of sucks.
That's the theme of today, my friend.
Weather report, please.
Trying to find the Seahawks one.
They play in Seattle.
Wherever it is. I don't even. Oh yeah, it's clear. It's partly cloudy. It's clear. I thought so.
Partly cloudy, clear. Got it.
All good to go.
This spread is up to 9.5 now. Wowza.
Oh man.
What?
Yeah, 9.5 consensus on every book, all at -110.
I mean, I think that's the right side. I get it. It's just what's the total consensus?
Unison. The total. There is no total consensus. It's like some is at 44, some's at 43, some's at 43.5, some's at 44.
I'll put 43.5 then.
Yeah.
All right, polls running. What do you got in this one?
God, this sucks. Okay, so my play here is Tyler Lockett if DK Metcalf doesn't go. So DK Metcalf is a true game time decision this week. And basically he has a hip injury. He has another injury. We don't know if he's going to go. If he doesn't go, though, the Arizona Cardinals have been getting absolutely reamed by wide receivers on a daily basis. I mean, not daily basis, weekly basis.
Weekly.
We're trying to get the game logs up here real quick. Cooper Kupp, 148 yards on them. Jamar Chase, 192 yards. Brandon Ayuk, 148 yards. I mean, they are getting absolutely demolished by wide receiver ones. And if DK does go, I just don't want to play a guy who's that banged up. He could get one hit and be out of the game in 2 plays, being like, I don't even know why I played today. So if he doesn't go, I will take Tyler Lockett no matter what. I don't care if the line's at 67.5. I don't care if it's 72.5. I will take the over. If not, I'm just going to pass on this game. It's a 9.5 point spread. I don't know if the game script's going to be working with me if I take a receiving over. So just pass.
This is an under for me. What I did, if you saw what I posted on the website, this is no longer variable now because it's up to 9.5. But I did a same game parlay, Seattle -2.5, and the under teased up to 50.5. That's what I did. But at this line 9.5, it would just be a straight under for me. I know 8 and 9 aren't the most key numbers, but I just feel safer taking the under at 43.5. What do we expect the Cardinals offense to do here? Because I know Josh Dobbs was making plays earlier in the season, but he was making plays off of the run game. The Cardinals' rushing offense has been good. That's been the backbone. That's been the reason that we've seen them overperform and outperform expectations is their run game. Do you guys know that the Seahawks have the best run defense in the NFL statistically? I mean, they're first, allowing 3.3 yards per carry. They're first,
especially over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, nobody's running the ball in Seattle. Nobody. This is a good run defense last year, and they added Bobby Wagner to it. This is a really good run defense. The Cardinals shouldn't do anything on offense in this game. And then on the other side, this is why Geno Smith was terrible in the second half of last game. I know all the credit went to the Bengals pass rush. Like, Bengals pass rush still showed up. And it did. But Geno Smith was terrible. I had Seahawks +3. I couldn't believe that didn't cover. It was all on the shoulders of Geno Smith. He was truly terrible. Only Desmond Ridder. I'd say Desmond Ridder was the only quarterback in the NFL that played worse than Geno Smith. And that includes PJ Walker. That includes all the backups that played. I mean, Geno Smith was awful last week, and I don't think Geno Smith's okay. I don't think he's very good. I've never been a big Geno Smith guy to begin with. So basically, we're looking at, I think the Cardinals are not going to score. Cardinals are hitting 13 tops, and do you trust the Seahawks to put up 29, 30 points in this game? And I don't. So yeah, give me the under 43.5. Bulldog.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as you guys. Like, I don't really like anyone in this one. If I was forced to pick, like, I'd probably lean Seattle just because I'm not going to back Arizona right now. They might get Kyler Murray back in a few weeks, and maybe I'll be more interested in their games. But this one's just a nothing. Like, you have Geno coming off a bad game. Josh Dobbs had a hot start to the season. Now, obviously, that's faded. That happens a lot in the league. You'll see a guy have a couple of good weeks and then kind of come back down to earth, and he's done that. Like, yeah, I don't really like this game at all. Leaning Seattle, but it probably would not be a top bet at all, for sure.
Toast?
I had a couple. I did Seattle, Kansas City, and Buffalo all money lines together at +113. I just did that. And then I did look at. I couldn't never find his receptions. That Trey McBride, that tight end for Arizona. I was looking at snap counts and stuff like that. I noticed that he had almost 10 more snaps than Ertz had. So he might be taking over. But I mean, a lot of his lines are really hard to find. But
Seahawks Chiefs. What was the money line parlay? Seahawks Chiefs. What?
Bills.
Seahawks, Chiefs, Bills at +113.
Oh, wow. That's real sharp.
I saw that too, Toast. I saw the snaps increase a big time last week. And I think that next week, I want to see what happens this week. Because if he gets more targets this week, then next week, over.
Well, the Chiefs might lose, so the Chiefs might lose.
No problem, Chief.
So.
Fuck off, Kyle.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Our poll. Cardinals win our poll. So we're going to have Cardinals +15.5 in our community teaser parlay at the end of this. Cardinals win the vote.
That's not that bad, though. 15.5.
No, I know.
I think I would take that with the Cardinals.
Yeah. Steelers at Rams. All right. Can I get a weather report, please? Oh, Rams. Never mind. So in that case, all I need is the consensus line from Prop Beaver.
Okay, so the consensus line is at
Still 3.
Actually, this is tough. Some of them have it at like DraftKings, PointsBet, and Barstool have it at 3.5, and then FanDuel, Caesars, BetMGM have it at 3.
So I'll give people 3.5 as an option in the poll. Consensus total.
It looks like it's moving towards 3.5. Consensus total is same fucking thing. Half 43.5, half 44.
So let's say 43.5. All right, poll is up. Cast your votes. Prop Beaver, what do you have for us here?
I don't think I have anything for us here. I mean, if I had to recommend a play, it would probably be Cooper Save Their Lives. Patrick Peterson's so cooked. But the thing is, Patrick Peterson doesn't play in the slot. So that's why it makes me kind of think like, I don't know if I want to rush to the window on that, because maybe it's a Puka day, because Patrick Peterson can't guard shit. And Puka Nakua is playing more on the outside now that Cooper Kupp is back. So he may have a good day, but Nakua's totals at 60.5. I have no desire to bet that with Cooper Kupp back in the mix. And then on top of that, I think that the Rams could potentially beat the shit out of the Steelers here. And I don't want to deal with a bad game script. I don't know. The Steelers had their bye, so maybe they come out a bit better offensively. But then again, Matt Canada, it can only get worse, I feel.
So you're officially passing.
Yep, for this one.
Damn, I'm on Nuka. Way to kill my vibe, Beaver.
If anything, I gave you props. I just said that 60.5 is a bit much for me.
Well, I got it at 58.5. I mean, the guy's getting 30% of the target shares. I mean, he had 26 yards last week against a freaking. Now he's going to face a Steelers defense that's a bottom 10 secondary to get you go off.
Yeah, I think we were lagging for a second, but we're back. So I got the pass thing up there for Prop Beaver. Andy, what about you?
I was leaning Pittsburgh before I heard it was 3.5. Now I really like Pittsburgh 3.5. When it was 3, I was like, they'll probably get a push there. I really like them. I think they only lose this game by a field goal. Rams don't have much of a running game right now. Injuries have kind of killed that. I am afraid that they're going to get passed all over. Don't worry, but I like Pittsburgh in this one. They've had a weird schedule. Like, they haven't played a lot of games in the past 14 days. They had their bye week, and then they played I think a Thursday in there somewhere. Like, yeah, they've been playing a different schedule, more rested, healthier. So yeah, I like Pittsburgh to cover in this one.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's not something I'm absolutely in love with, but the thing with the Rams is obviously Cooper Kupp coming back and producing, making that catch on the sideline was really cool. And him making plays is just going to steal the headlines. And that's kind of what people are thinking about when they think about the Rams right now. It's Stafford, Cooper Kupp, like, oh, the Super Bowl Rams offense is back. Yeah, and Puka. But the truth is, if you've been watching Rams football the last couple of weeks, the emergence of Kyren Williams has really been the backbone of that offense, and not having him on the field is huge. The Rams aren't very deep at running back. I mean, who's getting the carries now? It's Royce Freeman, Darrell Henderson. I mean, these aren't guys. And what do we know about the Steelers' defense? You can run on them, but if you're forced into a passing offense, that pass rush can give you a lot of problems. And that's what I'm seeing here for the Rams. I think they're going to be forced to rely too much on the passing game. The Steelers' pass rush against Matt Stafford, who we know isn't very mobile, I really don't like that matchup. And on the other side, look, the Steelers' offense, I mean, it's absolutely it's disgusting. It's truly disgusting. And I can't believe, hold on, let me pull it up to make sure. I think, let's see, Ravens to Texans. Yes. This is now the 5th week in a row I bet the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it makes me sick. But you know what? I'm 3-1 in the first 4. So they just keep finding ways to cover the number for me. I can't make many cases for the Steelers offensively, other than the fact that Rams don't pressure the passer at all. The Rams are 32nd, dead last in pressure rate. So if you're looking for a spot for Kenny Pickett to finally come out and have himself a decent game, you would think it'd be this one when he's going to have time to throw. So yeah, I like the Steelers. Getting 3.5 would be even better, but I actually am pretty sure I already bet this at 3. So maybe closer to kickoff, I'll throw another few dollars on it down to 3.5, but I'm almost positive I already have a ticket open at 3. All right, Toast.
Yeah, I had that Puka play. I don't really have a side on this one. Yeah, I mean, I would lean Steelers with you guys, I guess, just knowing that McVay and Stafford are terrible out of a bye. McVay's 2-4 ATS coming out of a bye. Stafford's like 4-7-1 ATS his last 8 or whatever. So it's just all bad. So I'll just tail you with the Steelers.
Okay, cool. Our poll's on the Rams. So the Rams will be in the community teaser at the end of this, not the Steelers. Let's see. We got 55% of our viewers are laying the 3 with the Rams, 32% taking the 3.5 with the Steelers. Next, we got 3 more games to get through. 3 more. All right, let's get the coward thing down from Beaver because he's no longer a coward. It's a new game. All right, Green Bay on the road in Denver. Weather report. Weather report, please, Toast.
The report in Denver has it 76 degrees and clear, barely any wind out there.
So beautiful day in Denver. Prop Beaver?
Yeah, consensus line.
1.5?
Second.
Or is it 1?
It's one.
Either one.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 3 different.
So I'll put
prices
Broncos
for
plus 1.5 because if you like the Broncos, you can get 1.5 out there. Consensus total?
Consensus total 44.5. Somebody was saying that the Rams do have a pass rush. No, they don't. They're bottom 5.
They're dead
sack
last.
rate.
They're 32nd in pressure rate. They're literally
and 5th and bottom 5 in sack rate.
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I know Donald's a beast, but I think he's the
Yeah.
only one that's a beast.
Yeah,
on that line.
they have no pass rush at all. They might be the worst pass rush in the NFL. I mean, I'd say maybe the Falcons might be the only one
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean,
worse.
When you triple team Donald, it's hard to create pressure with the other guys. So, yeah.
All right, Packers Broncos, absolute slugfest. What do you like?
Yes. So for this home run derby, I'm taking Javonte Williams' longest rush over 12.5 yards. I understand that Javonte Williams hasn't exactly been the guy that we expected him to be at the end of the 2021 season, coming off that knee injury. He's gone under his yards line set for today in his last 8 of 13 games. But guess what? Despite not racking up the yards, Williams has done one thing quite well, and that's ripping off one chunk per game on the ground. Because Williams, despite the yardage not being there total, he's gone over the longest rush mark his last 8 of 10 games. And in one of those games, he saw 2 carries before leaving with an injury. So his last 8 of 9 healthy games, he's cashed this line. And on top of that, he's now going to be seeing a Packers defense that has allowed 4 straight running backs over this mark. They're averaging 19.5 on their longest rush. And really what I like about this is the fact that this is probably projected to be one of the Packers, the Broncos' closer games on their schedule with how bad their defense has been. I mean, I personally think they should be favored, but they're giving 1.5 to the Packers. We've seen Javonte Williams with 10+ rush attempts in each of his healthy games with just 7+ rush attempts in his career. Javonte Williams is 18-5 to the over, averaging 17 yards. So I just think there's a lot of value here. I would take this at 13.5, as some other books have it, but FanDuel has that 12.5. Lots of value here.
Yeah, I like your thinking there because I'm on a similar page. Actually, I was laughing to myself when you called it a home run derby because I actually really like the over here, and it kind of plays into what we were talking about before, where it's just kind of a natural reaction of when you see 2 bad teams, your brain immediately goes, "I'll just take the under. These teams suck." But these defenses are bad, especially Denver's. And look, I got caught back in Jordan Love on that Monday Night Football game against the Raiders. Maybe Andy could come up here in a second and try to explain himself, his bum-ass quarterback. But Jordan Love throws the interception, robs me, gives me my first losing NFL week of the season, your boy did. But we do have Jordan Love against the Broncos defense, which is terrible. Broncos defense awful against the run, so the run game's going to be there for Green Bay. Whether or not Aaron Jones plays or not, I think he might play. I'm sure Andy is probably all over that. I think he might play, but the run game's going to be there. You got Jordan Love coming off a bye week. I like the spot for the Packers offense. The problem is I don't trust Green Bay's defense at all, and I think the Broncos offense is actually a little undervalued. They've kind of fallen off the last couple weeks, but the first 4 weeks of the season, Broncos offense actually looked good. It was their defenses that was losing them games. So I think the Broncos offense is undervalued and could definitely score points on Green Bay. And like I said, Jordan Love coming off a bye against the terrible Broncos defense. Over's the play for me here. I like this over. I don't put top bets as top. I don't put totals as top bets or anything, but I really like this over 44.5. All right, let's bring up the resident Packer fan, president of the Jordan Love fan club.
with that drippy ass sweatshirt on.
Look at that sweatshirt, yo. He's got a camo vest. Packers.
I can't even see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is.
No, yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't defend Jordan Love. I've been saying it all week. Like, if this is a get right game, if there's ever been a get right game for him, I just don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know about like the over to me. You said both defenses are bad. Both offenses are pretty damn awful too. Like the Broncos probably should have beat the Chiefs last week. Like their defense played pretty well against the Chiefs, held them to 19 points or whatever. The offense scored 8. Like they were awful. This offense is awful. Both offenses have been awful. So I'm actually leaning under, and I'm also, if I had to pick a side, it would literally flip a coin. Anybody could win this game. I'd probably.
I'll take the pack. You want to take the pack? Just do it.
I'd probably, but I actually don't know if they're gonna like. This is a game where literally you could flip a coin and you could convince me either team's gonna win. The Packers have been awful. Now you're coming off a bye, no rhythm, nothing in that offense for 3 weeks now. Like it was a month ago now was the last time we said Jordan Love played a good game. Like that Falcons game was the last time he played well. And that was a month ago now. Like the Saints game, he didn't play well until the end. Played awful against Detroit, played awful against Vegas. Like it's been a while since we said anything good about Green Bay. So yeah, this is not a game for them. Like it should be a bounce back game, but there's no confidence in that one. I don't think either of these teams are going to score. So yeah, I'm on.
I just want to mention something. One of the comments said that there was a lot of guys out in this one. And I did actually look at the injury report. Devondre Campbell's out, which is huge for the Broncos run game. So he's out of this one. And then Jair Alexander, he practiced Wednesday, got an LP in on Thursday, and then did not practice Friday. So he may be out.
Yeah, they're getting Eric Stokes back. This is that's his first game in like 6 months, so or like a year now. But I don't know what he's gonna do. But yeah, Jair randomly got hurt during the middle of the week, so that was tough. Yeah,
he was also dealing with something last week too, or 2 weeks ago, I should say. Toast, what are you doing?
I'm gonna 2 plays, both of them kind of small. I'm gonna focus on Christian Watson. Christian Watson over 50.5 receiving yards, and then his longest reception of 22.5 yards. Both of them over. Just trying to take advantage of that Denver defense. It's allowing 7.2 explosive plays per game. That's second worst in the NFL. Watson's a big play guy. He's had catches over 22.5 yards in both games he's played this year, including a 77-yarder. And the guy, Damari Mathis, that should be covering him at most times. PFF grade 123 out of 124 in corners. So I'll take my chances with Christian Watson having a decent day today.
All right, I think we've spent enough time talking about this horseshit game.
I agree.
But
I didn't even want to go through my whole spiel.
49% of our viewers are laying the one with Green Bay, 31% taking the 1.5 with Denver, 10% under, and 8% over. 2 games left, and they're 2 awesome ones. You can make an argument probably the 2 best games of the day. First one being Chargers at Chiefs. If this was 2 weeks ago, it would be the easiest decision ever. I mean, it still was an easy decision, but can we get a weather report, please, Toast?
It's cloudy, or it's partly cloudy, 71, 12-mile-an-hour winds, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that bad as far as at kickoff time. So we should be essentially normal weather.
So weather's fine, not great, fine.
Yeah.
5.5 consensus prop, Beaver?
Dude, no. There's been a spike. It's at 6 on some books, and in MGM, you could get the Chargers plus 6.5.
Wow. Okay.
Isn't that who are you on? Sorry, never mind.
I was going to be on the Chargers.
Total?
The total's at 48.
All right, prop Beaver. So you're on the pie chart. You on the Chargers?
Oh, fuck. Reverse line movement. Are you serious?
Those pie charts, Beaver?
I don't know if I'd call it reverse though, because there might be some Chiefs. For the most part, the square better places their bets the day of the game. So normally, that's generally what happens. So even if it's split, the public side usually takes money on the day of. So I would imagine most Chiefs bettors are coming in today. I could see the reaction. I wouldn't look too much into it. I'm on the Chargers. I'll put it up.
Shoot me. I'll take the Chargers. God damn it.
Man, I'm the only one on KC here?
Damn. Yeah, Chiefs as home favorites, pretty dreadful. The Chargers just continue to keep games close. I forgot. I read a stat where it's like their last 10 games are like 6 points, 3 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 points. Like in terms of the differential, it's just like they always manage to keep games close. And I know that everybody's worried about Herbert and that little thumb issue, but I mean, the Dallas pass rush was just on a different planet in that game. The Chiefs pass rush has been very underwhelming this year in comparison to recent years. So I really think that was the main factor that took Herbert off his, his high horse, not the thumb issue. I just think that I'm getting this number with a team that I think is everybody likes to shit on the Chargers. I think they're a solid team. I do. I think that there's a ton of talent on that roster, and I think that they always come to KC and cover this number. They're 4-1 in their last 5 against KC. I believe they're 4-0 in their last 4 at KC. I know the difference is that the Chiefs defense is quite good this year in comparison to most years, but I'm still going to take it. I got to take the Chargers here, even though it makes me sick. This would be like a half unit bet at most for myself.
Yeah, Chargers definitely the play. I would be all over this if we didn't just see Justin Herbert struggle last week against the Cowboys. But it wasn't just that he struggled, because like Prop Beaver said, the Cowboys pass rush is good. You can give quarterbacks passes for that. But he was missing open throws. I mean, he was off the mark. Wasn't just a pass rush throwing him off. He was missing reads, missing throws. He looked bad. But at the same time, the Chiefs' offense, there's something wrong with it. They do not look good offensively. I mean, not just struggling to score against Denver, because that's a Thursday night game. It's a rivalry division game. You can't read too much into games like that. But then the Jets game too. I mean, this offense doesn't look the same this year. And Chargers, look, everyone has it in their head that the Chargers have this terrible defense, and it's not great. But last season, we saw the same thing. The Chargers had, and Prop Beaver will remember exactly what I'm talking about. Last season, the Chargers were like the worst run defense in the NFL. And then randomly, it clicked, and the Chargers, for like a 6 or 7 game stretch, had the best run defense in the league. And what we just saw them do last week to Tony Pollard and the Cowboys, obviously they lost, so it's not getting talked about. Cowboys couldn't do anything on the ground. And Mike McCarthy was making it a point like, yo, we're going to get the run game going in this one. We're going to get the ball in the hands of Tony Pollard. And it didn't work. Chargers shut that shit down. I think the Chargers' run defense is going to be good moving forward. And then in which case it comes down to what I think this game is going to be. It's going to be Mahomes versus Herbert, who throwing it, dueling a couple quarterbacks here, and every single time these two teams play, it's close. Mahomes usually gets the better of them, but it's always close. So at 5.5, at 6.5, I'm definitely on the Chargers here. Bulldog?
Yeah, Toast, you're the only one on the Chiefs today. I'm on the Chargers.
Beautiful.
I
love my island.
I think a lot of people are making a big deal about how many missed throws Herbert made. I think he's gonna wake up for this game. Like, this is Kansas City's offense hasn't been great. I think they're ready. The Chargers offense is ready to kind of just get going. They had no run game the other day. Obviously, Eckler coming off an injury did nothing. I think he'll be better today. I think they'll have a run game to at least support if he's playing bad. So I have a lot of faith in the Chargers to regroup after that. Yeah, he was under pressure all day. Chiefs don't get pressure. Yeah, I'm on the Chargers today. Plus 6.5 has actually made me much happier about that.
All right, Toast, here's your moment in the sun. Tell us why you like the Chiefs.
I just don't get it. I just don't understand what you guys. I guess I just don't understand what you guys are seeing. But I'll give you one thing. Herbert loves playing in the East Coast time zone. 12 and 6 ACS in the East Coast.
Dude, St. Louis, Kansas City isn't in the East Coast.
It's not.
Apparently, it's in the Midwest.
It's in the Midwest.
They're an hour behind.
Okay, my bad.
Mahomes is in the
Then
East.
he's 16, 19, and 1 in the Midwest. So that's even worse for you guys. But I can tell you how this game's going to go. The Chargers are probably going to have a decent, like a little bit of a halftime lead, and then they're going to lose it like they always do. These teams have been tied three of 4 games in the fourth quarter. The last 4 games that these teams have played. But for me, it's just I get a fade Justin Herbert in the second half. It's a weekly tradition we do here in the Toasty House. 16, 34, and 5 in the second half spread in his career. When the Chargers have a lead, Justin Herbert is 7, 24, and 2 ATS in the second half. So I'm just praying that the Chargers have a 7.
There's no way that's accurate.
What? Oh, you can go ahead and check it because I've been posting about it every week. I got commish on this.
Wait, so when the Chargers, say that again.
Okay, Justin Herbert is 16, 34, and 5 in the second half against the spread. When they are winning, they're leading in the second half. That gets even worse. He's at 7, 24, and 2 in the second half. Not the game, the second half alone. So if the Chargers go into halftime with the win, Bet the other team, or with a lead, bet the other team, and you're going to win a lot of money. I'm telling you guys, this is one of my favorite spots to bet in the NFL. I pray to God every week that the Chargers have a lead. I pray to fucking God.
All right, so our poll is on the Chargers.
My Christ.
My God.
57% of our viewers are taking the 6.5 with the Chargers. 29% laying the 6 with the Chiefs. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, whoa! What happened to our thing? There
I know
we go.
he's funny, but he doesn't deserve the full
He
string.
doesn't deserve.
Yeah.
Look, that second half trend was nice, but he doesn't deserve a solo monologue.
Jesus.
Let's chill out now.
Sunday Night Football. Dolphins at Eagles. Weather, please, toast.
51, but it says 13 miles an hour wind, but it doesn't have. Usually when it's like that, it's in red. It's not in red, so maybe it's gonna come down, or if it's not super. I don't know.
I mean, game's still 8 hours away, so maybe. Consensus line still at 3 across the board, Prop Beaver?
Yep.
Total?
And, the total is at 52.5.
52.5. Prop Beaver, Sunday Night Football. The spotlight's on you. What do you got for us? Do not pass. You better not pass on Sunday Night Football.
I'm not gonna pass. This is a headache, though. There's pretty great points for for both teams. If you want a point for the Dolphins' offense, I mean, the Dolphins against man coverage are sick fucks. They're first in passer rating, first in air net yards per attempt, first in TD percentage, and guess what? Philly runs the 4th highest frequency of man coverage in the league. That legitimately terrifies me because guess what? Darius Slay and Bradbury, they were good last year. They've been ass this year. Ass cheek. So I am not very confident in that secondary against speedsters like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. But then on the other side, the trends that scare me for the Dolphins is Tua's kryptonite. What is it? Pressure. When he's kept clean, the guy's a god. First in pass rating, first in TDs, third in completion percentage, second in PFF grade. But he is pretty bad when pressured. 29th in pass rating. Yeesh. 31st in completion percentage, 1 TD, which is 18th, and then 20th in PFF grade. And on top of that, the Dolphins haven't really faced anybody. They faced just 2 defenses in the top 15 this season and managed just 20 and 24 points on them. The other 4 opponents, the Chargers, the Denver Broncos, the Giants, and Carolina, who are all bottom 7 defenses in DVOA. In their lone game against a top 10 defense, they went 3-10 on third downs, turned the ball over twice, scored a season low 20 points. I mean, I'm just going to take the Eagles. You want to know why? Because Jalen Hurts doesn't lose twice in a row. Even going back to college, the guy doesn't lose twice in a row. So I'm taking the Eagles. I'm laying the 3 with them. I'm praying for Jalen Carter to cause a fucking ruckus in the middle of that offensive line. And I'm just praying that the Dolphins offense is supremely overvalued. I wish this was at 2.5 because I think at 3, some of that value goes to Miami. But I'll lay with the Eagles. I talked myself into it.
Someone just said in the comments, betting against the Eagles at home is crazy. They're actually 0-2 against the spread, and they're yet to cover a spread at home this season. Like, we'll just be talking.
Serious question: is Lane Johnson back?
Yes,
he is back, but he's coming off a sprained ankle. And I know Toast.
No, he's fine though.
Lane
I think
Johnson's out.
Yes, I know. That's why I asked.
No. Not only is he back, but he participated in a full practice. Like, he's good. From what I'm reading, I'm not the guy's licensed physician, but that's from what I'm reading. He's good.
Beaver's on the same track as I am. I can tell.
You got to Miami, Kyle?
Hell yeah, I got to Miami.
Yeah.
I guess you didn't even watch the YouTube video I uploaded last night. So I put this one on YouTube. It tells you how dedicated Prop Beaver is. Doesn't even watch my videos. So yeah. As you guys saw, I'm on the Dolphins, and I also put a few dollars on the under at 51.5. Primetime unders. I don't even need to give you that spiel. Look, what Prop Beaver said about the Dolphins not producing against good defenses is 1,000% accurate. Like, they have went off against the Giants and the Broncos. They've gone off and beat up on the worst defenses in the NFL. And then against good defenses, well, they've really only played one good defense. It was the Bills. They didn't produce as much. But here's the thing. I don't consider the Eagles defense, based on what we've seen this year, I don't have the Eagles defense on the same level as the Buffalo Bills defense. Not that the Eagles defense is bad, but the Bills is one of the best defenses in the NFL. And then in that game, there's the added element that there's a rivalry. McDermott apparently is really good at limiting Tua. That doesn't apply here. The Eagles defense has been okay this year, and I think the Dolphins getting a full 3 is the side to be on. Now, on the other side of the ball, I don't think people realize that the Dolphins actually have a good defense against the run. It's something that's slipping through the cracks here. The Dolphins were 4th last year. 4th in run defense DVOA. They had the 4th best run defense in the NFL. And in the last 4 weeks, they're allowing just 90 rushing yards per game on 3.5 yards per carry. You can't really run the ball in the Dolphins. So I don't know if you're expecting the Eagles to just bully the Dolphins' run defense, but Dolphins have a really good run defense, like a top 5, top 7 run defense. In which the way to score on the Dolphins' defense is to throw the ball on them. Eagles, I mean, Jalen Hurts hasn't been that great. The Eagles' passing offense has been pretty mediocre. I mean, it hasn't been bad. I think they're like 17th or like 13th in passing DVOA, 17th in passer rating. They're average. I don't like an average passing attack against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to win this one, but getting a full 3, I'm pretty confident that's the side I want to be on betting wise. Bulldog.
Yeah, I hate that I agree with Prop Beaver here, but I'm on Philly.
He hates it.
What the fuck does that mean? I hate that I agree with the guy wearing that goddamn monstrosity. F you.
No, I'm glad it's actually a primetime game that's worth watching, but I'm on Philly here. I'm not gonna. I know it seems kind of stupid to say you're not overreacting because their offense has been pretty mediocre throughout the start of the season. It hasn't been as electric as we expect. Jalen Hurts, it seems like he tries to run the ball a little too much now. That needs to kind of stop. They've kind of tried to do that last week and obviously threw 3 interceptions. But yeah, they need to figure that out. But I think in this game, a lesser defense, obviously the Jets defense is far better than the Dolphins. I think Jalen Hurts will bounce back, have a good game. I do think the Philly defense is going to get to Tua in this game. Jalen Carter, he talked about it. Jalen Carter's been amazing to start the season. So yeah, I'm on Philly. It's not one of my favorites. I love the game. It's going to be a great game, but I definitely think Philly's going to win this game.
Toast, tell me you're on the Fins with me.
Yeah, I'm on the Fins with you. I can't. True is true. I hate Tua Tagovailoa so much. I think he's made of glass, but he's made me some money.
You hate him because he's made of glass? I hate people who get hurt.
I hate him. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't want to hear it. Okay?
I can't. He got hurt.
No, it's because I've had friends that told me he was God, and I just don't think.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Dolphins, 37.2 points per game this season, entering this week. This would be the 5th time ever that a team going in week 7 or later is averaging 35 plus points a game and is an underdog. So this just doesn't really happen. The last time this happened, the Chiefs in 2018 against the Rams. I just don't know how you fade the Dolphins here. 8 yards per play. No one in the last 20 years has averaged more than 6.8. I mean, we're literally talking about greatest show on turf yards right here. Yeah, I don't really love the Eagles. I won't lie. I just watched Kyle's video on this one. I trust him. But yeah, I'm with the Dolphins.
You're making a wise
He's a
decision.
scrub. One thing I will say, if you're a prop guy like myself, if you go on points bet, DeAndre Swift's rushing yard total is at 70.5. Every other book has that 62.5.
He's
so
averaging like 40 yards a game in his last 3. DeAndre Swift ain't been doing shit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he had 70 against LA, but 18 against the Jets, 56 against Washington. His yards per carry has plummeted over his last 3 games. I'm thinking about taking that under there. I want to see how that line moves. But if you like that under, 70.5 on points bet.
Well, that brings us to the next segment, the Underdog and Prop Beaver. We are on the same page here. I put this in the video last night. Here is my Underdog pick. Where is it?
Oh, it's a good one.
Oh, it's a really good one. Really good one. Sharp looks there. Hold on, I'll bring it on the screen now. Where is it? Dolphins Underdog. Here it is. There we go. All right, so this is the Underdog pick'em. If you watched last night's video, you already saw this. Raheem Mostert higher than 52.5 rushing yards. DeAndre Swift lower than 62.5 rushing yards. Dallas Goedert higher than 4 receptions. That's a 3 pick, so it pays out 6 times. If you don't have an Underdog fantasy account, it's located in any state highlighted in this map. So if you're in one of those states, go to Underdog Fantasy, or you could download the app. Make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll give you a $100 deposit bonus. So if you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100. Can we talk some community parlay?
I mean, for the love of God.
Let's talk some community parlay. For those of you that are, there was like 2,400 people in here watching.
I
which is
know.
wild.
I'm stunned. Thank you all for watching so much. Wow.
They're all
That's
waiting
crazy.
for my baseball pick.
No one's
Yeah,
waiting
sure.
for that. We know. All right. So, community parlay. Oh, by the way, Dolphins edged out the poll in the last one. So, for those of you that are new, the community votes on their favorite teaser legs, and then we all place a community teaser parlay together. I don't think it's hit yet this year, but today's the day. Well, actually, no, last week. I can't remember. I always forget to track them. That's why. All right, so let's pull up the games and get this started because it's 12:19, so people probably want to get where they're going. First game is Browns at Colts, and Browns won that poll, so that would be Browns plus 2.5. Bills at Patriots, Bills won, so that'd be Bills minus 1.5. Raiders at Bears, Raiders won, so that'd be Raiders plus 3.5. Commanders at Giants, Giants won that poll. Giants plus 9. All right, first leg of the teaser parlay. Cast your votes. Toast, do you want the floor? You want to talk baseball for a second while they're voting?
Oh yeah, sure, I can. So game 5 tonight, game 6 tonight in Houston. Honestly, guys, I'm going to take Houston on the money line. It's not going to be a big bet for me. Probably only a 0.75 or a full unit. Look, Framber hasn't been himself. The road team has won every game in this series. Nate Eovaldi's been really good. I just trust the Astros a little bit more. If they get punked at home again, then it's so be it, and we'll see what happens in Game 7. But I definitely trust the Astros in this spot. Framber's been in this situation many times. Like 2 years ago, he went up into Boston and did the same thing. So they're tried and trusted. I don't know. Simeon and Seager just aren't doing anything for Texas, so it's just really hard for me to get around them doing anything. So yeah, I'm on the Astros. I don't love it. It's not a lock. It's not like the Phillies were last night for me. No 3-unit bangers or anything like that. We'll just we'll wait for a couple more days on that one.
How do you feel about the reports that Framber Valdez is actually Dookie Stain?
I haven't seen those reports. Thank you.
Oh, I've seen them. I've actually published a few of them.
I published a few of them.
Dude, get that stupid ass song.
What
going.
is that?
You're gonna get us copyrighted, you fuck.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to do that. And I don't even know what that song is.
It's what the Phillies play when they win. That garbage ass organization. I can't wait till Corbin Carroll fucking sends them home. Bye bye.
All right. No,
Yeah, he's been rocking it this postseason. Just a fucking stud.
Lions
Framber.
plus 9 is leg number 2. Let's keep it rolling.
And yes, comments. We know everybody's on the Rangers first 5. We got it. Just we got it.
Packers Broncos. Who did they like in that one? They like Packers, I think.
Packers.
Framber's not hurt.
They like the
Sorry.
pack.
Packers was 5. They like the Chargers. Chargers plus 12.
Everybody's making way too much about Framber's ankle. He's fine.
Did they take the Dolphins? They took the Dolphins. So Dolphins plus 9.
Yeah.
Did I miss a game? 11. No, that's 11. All right, so here's the third leg, and then we'll do a vote for the second place to make it 4.
How was a guy named Taco Meat gonna say that I eat ketchup sandwiches with cheese?
Beaver looks
Relax. Okay?
Beaver looks like he eats cheese sandwiches, just ketchup. No
I may
meat.
look like I eat excess sandwiches, but I don't eat cheese sandwiches with ketchup. Okay, I mean, don't call me disgraceful.
He put no meat in all caps.
Like what? Who eats that?
So this third one, Chargers plus 12, which means we need one more, and the second place finishers were Dolphins plus 9, Bucks plus 3, and Browns plus 2.5. So one more vote. We have Dolphins plus 9, Browns plus 2.5, and what was the other one? Bucks, I think. Bucks plus 3. So what is the final leg of our community teaser parlay here? And Toast, could you get the odds up or someone?
Well, it's going to be plus 160 on a 3-team teaser.
It's 4. I don't think they're set like that anymore, though. Someone want to do that for me? Or
Is
I'll
that
do
what
it.
you think?
I'm doing it right now.
What's the best place to put those together? Like where you
Any
do it quickly?
sports book, dude.
Really?
I'm doing it right now.
Really?
It's so all right. I'll do it.
It's still 260. It's 260. A 6-point teaser with 4 teams is 260 on DraftKings.
All right, it's plus 260. Well,
Yeah,
you have to be
it
careful.
doesn't matter which
It's
team
hard to
you
give
do.
out something universal because all sportsbooks do it differently now. It's not like it used to be. So plus 260.
That's why I was.
All right, here is the community teaser parlay. Bills minus 1.5. Lions plus 9. Chargers plus 12. Dolphins plus 9. Hopefully, we all hit this as a unit. Everyone, thank you for watching. There's a ton of people in here today. We'll be back next week. I'll be uploading the Monday Night Football video probably tomorrow morning. Hopefully, by that time, we all have some more money in our accounts. Remember to bet responsibly. Let's have ourselves a good Sunday. And everyone enjoy your day. Later.